The city hummed a soft tune outside the window of the quiet corner. Inside, it was just Nathan and Oliver, two men who hadn't seen each other in what felt like a lifetime. Sunlight, warm and golden, streamed through the old stained glass panels, painting colorful patterns on their table. It was the perfect spot, Nathan thought, cozy and peaceful, just right for catching up after so many years. Oliver had suggested it, saying he remembered it from when they were kids, a little ice cream parlor that had grown into a charming cafe. Nathan looked at Oliver, really looked at him. His hair was a bit shorter now, and there were a few gentle lines around his eyes when he smiled, but it was still Oliver. The same kind eyes, the same easy smile that used to make Nathan laugh until his sides hurt. They'd spent countless afternoons together, building tree houses that never quite stood up straight, trading comic books, and dreaming big, impossible dreams. Now, sitting across from each other, a comfortable silence settled between them. Not awkward, but full of unspoken history. "It's good to see you, Oliver," Nathan said, a genuine warmth spreading through him. He felt a lightness he hadn't realized he'd missed. Oliver nodded, his smile widening. "You too, Nathan. It feels like no time has passed at all, and yet everything's different." He gestured vaguely around the cafe, then back to Nathan. "Life, I guess." They ordered coffee and a small plate of pastries, the aroma of fresh-baked goods filling the air. As they waited, their eyes met, and Nathan felt a flicker of something he couldn't quite name. It was more than just the joy of seeing an old friend. It was a hint of something new, something exciting, waiting to unfold in the quiet hum of the cafe. The coffee arrived, steaming gently in their cups, and the pastries looked too pretty to eat. Yet, a comfortable quiet still lingered. Nathan took a sip, then looked at Oliver, a smile playing on his lips. "Remember that time we tried to build a fort in your backyard, and it just kept falling down?" Oliver chuckled, a warm, easy sound that made Nathan feel even more at ease. "Oh man, I remember. We spent hours trying to prop up those old blankets with sticks. Your mom came out with lemonade, and the whole thing collapsed right as she opened the back door. And then we blamed the wind, even though there wasn't a single breeze," Nathan added, laughing. "We were such terrible liars. We were masters of make-believe," Oliver corrected, his eyes twinkling. "Like when we pretended the old oak tree in the park was a pirate ship. We'd spend whole afternoons up there, fighting invisible enemies and sailing to faraway lands." Nathan's mind drifted back to those sunny days, the smell of fresh-cut grass and the rough bark of the tree beneath his hands. "And the time he got stuck in the swing set, and we had to get your dad to lift you out? You were so red-faced," Oliver groaned playfully. "Don't remind me. And what about the time we tried to bake cookies for Mrs. Henderson, and we used salt instead of sugar? She still talks about those savory surprises." They continued like that, jumping from one memory to another, each story bringing forth more laughter and a deeper sense of connection. The little adventures, the silly mistakes, the secrets only they shared, it was all there, vivid and clear as if it happened yesterday. The cafe faded into the background as their past unfolded between them, a colorful tapestry woven with threads of shared joy and innocent mischief. With every story, the years that had separated them seemed to meld away, leaving only the easy camaraderie of childhood friends. It felt good, better than Nathan had expected, to revisit those carefree days with the person who had been right there beside him for so many of them. Their laughter filled the small cafe, mixing with the gentle clatter of cups and the soft murmur of other conversations. Nathan felt completely at ease, wrapped in the warmth of shared history. He was telling a story about the time they accidentally dyed their dog green with food coloring when he caught Oliver's gaze. It was different, not the easy, friendly look of someone remembering a funny moment. Oliver's eyes were soft, deep, and lingered on Nathan's face for a beat longer than usual. A small, almost imperceptible shift, but Nathan felt it. He paused, mid-sentence, the dog-dying story suddenly forgotten. Oliver didn't look away immediately. His gaze held Nathan's, a silent question in their depths. There was something warm there, something unspoken, gentle intensity that made Nathan's chest feel tight in a new, unfamiliar way. He cleared his throat, feeling a blush creep up his neck. And then Sparky wouldn't stop shaking himself, and green water was everywhere. Nathan finished a little too quickly. He tried to laugh it off, but his eyes kept flicking back to Oliver. Oliver smiled, a small, knowing smile, and his eyes dropped to Nathan's lips for a quick second before meeting his gaze again. That flicker, that brief, almost secret look, sent a shiver down Nathan's spine. It wasn't just friendly warmth anymore. It was something deeper, a quiet yearning that seemed to glow in Oliver's eyes. It was as if Oliver was looking at him not just as an old friend, but as someone else. Someone new, someone important, in a way Nathan hadn't considered. The easy comfort of their reunion began to mingle with a faint current of curiosity and something akin to a thrilling uncertainty. The air around them suddenly felt charged, buzzing with a different kind of energy. Even with the new awareness bubbling beneath the surface, the comfort of their shared past was a strong, steady current. They continued to talk, the laughter still coming easily, though a little softer now, a little more thoughtful. They talked about their high school days, the awkward dances, the terrible bands they loved, and the dreams they had for their futures that seemed so big back then. Each memory was a warm blanket, safe and familiar, wrapping them in the glow of their long-standing friendship. Nathan found himself thinking, this is nice. This is really, really nice. Star. But beneath that warmth, like a gentle hum, was the exciting, almost dizzying feeling Oliver's gaze had sparked. Every time Oliver looked at him, and he looked often, Nathan felt it. A soft brush of warmth, a quiet pull. It was like looking at a familiar map and suddenly seeing a new, unexplored path stretching out from it. The memories they were sharing felt precious, solid, and known. Yet, the way Oliver's eyes would hold his for just a beat too long, or the small smile that seemed to be just for him, added a thrilling, unknown element to the cozy comfort. Nathan found himself wondering about Oliver in a way he never had before, not just as a childhood friend, but as a person right now sitting across from him. He noticed the way Oliver's hair fell across his forehead when he leaned in, or the quiet strength in his hands when he picked up his coffee cup. It was a new lens through which to see someone he thought he knew so well. The nostalgia was a sweet, familiar song, but Oliver's lingering gaze was a new melody, exciting and full of possibility, tempting Nathan to lean closer and listen. The safety of their past was a beautiful anchor, but the thrill of what could be was a gentle breeze, nudging him towards an unknown shore. The cafe was beginning to empty out, the soft clatter of dishes replaced by a quieter hum. The golden light outside had faded to a gentle twilight. Oliver leaned forward slightly, resting his elbows on the table, his gaze steady on Nathan. The comfortable chatter had slowed, replaced by a more thoughtful quiet. "You know," Oliver began, his voice a little softer than before, I always really liked being with you, Nathan." Nathan felt a strange warmth spread through him, a feeling that was both familiar and brand new. He waited, not quite knowing what to say. Oliver continued, his eyes searching Nathan's. "Even when we were little kids, messing around in the park or trying to build those rickety forts, you just made everything better, more fun. You were always the one who could make me laugh, even when I was feeling down." He paused, a small, gentle smile playing on his lips. "It sounds silly, maybe, but I missed that. I missed you." The words hung in the air, simple and honest. They weren't just about friendship, not really. The way Oliver said you, the quiet intensity in his eyes, spoke of something deeper, something that had always been there, perhaps unnoticed or unspoken. Nathan felt a pleasant shiver run down his arms. It wasn't just nostalgia anymore. It was a feeling of being truly seen, truly valued, in a way he hadn't realized he craved. "I missed you too, Oliver," Nathan finally managed, his voice a little rougher than he intended. The feeling of the unknown, which had been a gentle breeze before, now felt like a stronger current, pulling him towards Oliver. The comfortable safety of their past was still there, but this new honesty, this quiet confession, felt like stepping onto new ground. It was thrilling and a little bit scary, but mostly it felt right. The confession had settled over them like a warm, heavy blanket. Nathan looked at Oliver, really looked at him, and saw not just the boy he'd built forts with, but the man he was now. The soft lines around Oliver's eyes, the way his dark hair fell, the earnestness in his gaze, all of it combined into a picture that was both deeply familiar and thrillingly new. The comfort of their shared past, the memories of scraped knees and whispered secrets, was a solid foundation beneath them. It was safe. It was home. But intertwined with that comfort was a new, vibrant thread. It was the way Oliver had looked at him, that lingering gaze that wasn't just friendly. It was the quiet, heartfelt words Oliver had just spoken, words that went beyond simple friendship. Nathan felt a pull, a gentle yet insistent tug towards Oliver that was entirely new. It wasn't just the warmth of old friendship. It was the spark of something more, something exciting and unknown. His mind raced, trying to put a name to this feeling. Was it just the surprise of hearing such an honest sentiment after so many years? Or was it something else, something deeper that had been lying dormant, waiting for this moment to awaken? The idea felt both right and terrifying. Right, because it felt so natural to be sitting here with Oliver, feeling this connection. Terrifying, because it was uncharted territory, a path they had never walked before. He wondered what Oliver meant by missed you. Was it the easy companionship of a childhood friend, or something else, something closer to the longing Nathan was now starting to feel himself? The air in the cafe, once filled with the gentle hum of conversation, now felt charged with unspoken possibilities. Nathan's heart beat a little faster, a quiet rhythm against the backdrop of their shared history. He was standing at a crossroads, one foot firmly planted in the comfort of the past, the other hovering over the thrilling, uncertain ground of the future, wondering where this new feeling might lead. The last customers had trickled out of the quiet corner, and the gentle clatter of dishes had stopped altogether. The soft jazz music from the speakers seemed to grow louder in the stillness, filling the space around them. The lights, once bright, were now dimmed, casting long shadows across the empty tables. Outside, the streetlights cast a soft glow, and the city's sounds became a distant whisper. Nathan and Oliver sat there, no longer talking. The flow of memories had slowed. The laughter had faded, replaced by a profound quiet. It wasn't an awkward silence, not like the one you might feel with a stranger. Instead, it was a silence full of meaning, heavy with all the unspoken feelings that had surfaced between them. Nathan found himself just watching Oliver, taking in the way the dim light caught the curve of his cheek, the slight rise and fall of his chest as he breathed. Every glance, every shift felt important now. He wondered if Oliver felt it too, this new weight in the air, this humming energy that wasn't there before. Their eyes met across the small table, and this time, Oliver didn't look away. His gaze was steady, warm, and searching. It was a look that asked questions without words, a look that promised answers without speaking. Nathan felt his heart quicken its pace, a drumbeat against his ribs. The old comfort of their friendship was still there, a soft, familiar blanket. But now, woven into it was a thread of something new, something thrilling and uncertain. It was the quiet anticipation of a secret about to be shared, a truth about to be revealed. The cafe, once a place of nostalgic comfort, had become a chamber of quiet discovery. The night deepened, and with it, the quiet between them deepened too, becoming a space where thoughts and feelings could exist without the need for words. All the unspoken things, all the new desires, swirled in that quiet, waiting. The silence stretched, a delicate, fragile thing, filled with unspoken words and fluttering heartbeats. Nathan watched Oliver, lost in the quiet pull between them. Then, slowly, almost as if he were testing the air, Oliver reached across the table. His hand moved gently, hesitantly, towards Nathan's. Nathan's breath caught in his throat. He didn't move, didn't even blink, just watched Oliver's fingers get closer. It felt like time had stopped, every second stretching into an eternity. Oliver's fingertips brushed against the back of Nathan's hand, a feather-light touch that sent a jolt, warm and electric, through Nathan's entire arm. It wasn't a strong grasp, just a soft, hesitant connection, a question asked without a single sound. That small touch spoke volumes. It was more than a friendly gesture. It was an acknowledgement of the new feelings swirling between them, a silent agreement that something had changed. It was an invitation, a tentative step onto that unknown path Nathan had been thinking about. Nathan felt his own fingers twitch, wanting to intertwine with Oliver's, to hold on, to explore what this soft connection meant. The warmth of Oliver's skin against his was comforting and exciting all at once. It was the physical expression of all the unspoken thoughts that had filled the quiet cafe. In that one small touch, the past and the present, comfort and thrilling uncertainty, seemed to meet and mingle. The familiar outline of Oliver's hand, so much like the one he remembered from their childhood games, now held a new, deeper meaning. It was a bridge built between what they were and what they could become. The air around them seemed to shimmer with the silent weight of that small, profound contact. The quiet was shattered not by a sound, but by the electric hum of that touch. Nathan felt his fingers instinctively curl, gently pressing back against Oliver's. It was a silent conversation, a question answered, a shared realization. In that instant, the comfortable blanket of friendship was gently pulled aside, revealing something far more profound and thrilling beneath. It was no longer just the joy of reconnecting with an old pal. It was the breathtaking discovery of a deeper, unspoken connection. Oliver's eyes, already warm, softened further, a clear understanding dawning in their depths. The hesitant question in his touch was now met with a silent, mutual affirmation. Nathan felt a wave of clarity wash over him. This wasn't just nostalgia playing tricks or the novelty of seeing an old friend. This was a true, deep pull, a feeling that went beyond the boundaries of simple companionship. It was a recognition, a quiet, oh, that resonated in his chest. He saw it in Oliver's eyes, too, the mirroring of his own surprise, mixed with a gentle relief. It was as if they had both been walking along a familiar path, only to suddenly find a hidden door that led to a vibrant, new garden. All the lingering glances, the soft words, the unspoken longings that had filled the cafe now coalesced into one undeniable truth. Their feelings for each other were far more than just friendship. They were something tender, something hopeful, something that had perhaps been waiting for them all along, hidden beneath years of separate lives. The small, quiet cafe, once just a meeting spot, now felt like the beginning of everything. The touch, light as it was, had spoken volumes, and the comfortable quiet was now filled with a vibrant, unspoken understanding. They lingered for a few more moments, hands still gently touching across the table, the jazz music a soft hum around them. Eventually, a polite call from the cafe owner signaled it was truly time to leave. They rose, gathering their things slowly, each movement feeling more meaningful than it should. As they walked out into the cool night air, the city seemed different, brighter, alive with new possibilities. The streetlights cast long, playful shadows ahead of them as they walked side by side, not quite touching, but close enough that the warmth of their previous contact still hummed between them. "I should get going," Nathan said, the words feeling strange and heavy on his tongue, as if speaking them would break a spell. Oliver nodded, his gaze still soft and steady on Nathan. "Me too." There was a pause, a moment where the world seemed to hold its breath. "But I'd really like to see you again, Nathan. Soon." "I'd like that very much, Oliver," Nathan replied, a genuine smile spreading across his face. It wasn't just a polite agreement. It was a promise. He knew, deep in his gut, that this was just the beginning. They said their goodbyes, a simple wave, no hug, but the connection was palpable. As Nathan walked home under the starry sky, he felt a lightness in his step and a warmth in his chest that had nothing to do with the coffee. Everything had changed. The comfortable, well-worn path of his life had suddenly branched off into an exciting, unknown direction. He had reconnected with an old friend, but he was leaving with something entirely new, something that promised to reshape his world. Oliver, he knew, felt it too. Their lives, they both understood, would be profoundly different after this one extraordinary evening. The past was still there, a cherished memory, but the future, once a blank page, was now brimming with possibility.